Have you ever heard that the only great enemy for our heart is salt? If your answer is yes, you're not alone. For years, we've been told that reducing salt consumption was the almost miraculous solution to protecting the heart and preventing cardiovascular disease. Yet, unexpectedly, there are foods that disguise themselves as friends of health, when in fact they can turn out to be even more harmful than salt itself for the well-being of our arteries. And the most disturbing part is that these are foods so common and widespread that they easily become the protagonists of our tables. Yes, you understood correctly. The problem is not only in that extra sprinkling of salt on pasta or in the habit of adding it to salad. The real danger could be in those foods that we believe to be healthy, or at least harmless, and that instead turn out to be dangerously harmful. The fake healthy, or as I like to call them, the imposter foods. We often consume them nonchalantly, believing we are making the right choice. But the reality is that step by step, we are exposing ourselves to an increased risk of developing cardiovascular problems. And the matter is even more insidious when the packaging of these products promise us advantages in terms of lightness or nutritional benefits. In today's video, I want to show you what 10 fake healthy foods are that, in reality, are worse than salt. Because, let's be clear, excess salt is a problem, but it's not the only one. We often focus on a single enemy, forgetting to look at our diet as a whole. That's why it's important to open our eyes and get clarity. I will also tell you the impactful story of an ordinary person who considered his diet almost perfect, and instead realized that he had overlooked fundamental signals and information. Finally, I will reveal a key secret that will help you permanently change your perspective on your supermarket purchases and cooking habits. I anticipate that this element will be precious for preventing heart disease and improving your daily energy. Please stay with me until the end, because the last point on this list might really surprise you and maybe worry you a little. In the meantime, support me and help me spread this crucial information. Write "healthy heart" in the comments if you also want a stronger and fitter heart. Give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you will stay updated on upcoming content dedicated to your well-being. Are you ready to find out the truth about fake foods? All right, let's get started. Keep watching and I promise you won't regret it. Let's get to the heart of the matter. Here are 10 fake healthy foods that are actually enemies of the heart, often more insidious than salt. Some of these foods might make you raise an eyebrow, because they are perhaps also part of your daily life. The point is not to demonize each individual product, but to realize that, by dint of considering them healthy or acceptable, you risk accumulating a dangerous surplus of sugars, saturated fats, trans fats, and additives. Elements that, put together, can lead to chronic inflammation, hypertension, increased bad cholesterol, LDL, and other risk factors for the heart. 1. Industrial fruit yogurt and light dairy-based drinks. When we think of something fresh and light for breakfast or a snack, fruit yogurt seems like the perfect solution. Unfortunately, most of the jars we find in the supermarket, especially those with fruit pulp, syrups, and colorings, are real imposter foods. Why? Because they contain an enormous amount of added sugar, often more than a traditional dessert. And not only that, sometimes, to compensate for the low-fat content in the light version, additives, thickeners, and artificial sweeteners are used, which can alter the metabolism and promote the retention of abdominal fat. The main problem with these products is that they cause significant glycemic peaks, forcing the pancreas to secrete a lot of insulin. The result, in the long run, is a greater risk of insulin resistance, weight gain, and increased cardiovascular risk. The ideal is to opt for natural white yogurt, perhaps enriched by you with fresh fruit, or a touch of honey, in moderate quantities. Even better, if you are looking for taste and authenticity, add berries, almond flakes, or a pinch of cinnamon. 2. Whole grain bread and crackers, in name but not in fact. How many times have you bought whole wheat bread or crackers, convinced that you were making the healthiest choice? The packages scream, "rich in fiber," or "whole wheat," accompanied by images of golden ears of corn. And instead you find yourself in front of fake healthy products, because many companies use a small percentage of whole wheat flour, mixing it with ultra-refined flours. In practice, a dusting is enough to be able to write "whole wheat" on the package, deceiving the distracted consumer. The result is a product with a high glycemic index, which quickly raises blood sugar, promoting weight gain and stress on the cardiovascular system. Salt, sugars, and additives are often added to preserve the product for a long time and make it more appetizing. This is why, if you really want a whole grain product, you must learn to read the list of ingredients carefully. Whole grain flour should be in the first place, or at least among the first. If it appears lower down or says "blend of flours," it means you are consuming a fake whole grain. 3. Fit and energy bars. What's more convenient than a protein or fit bar to slip into your bag for a quick snack? In advertising, they describe them as an ideal snack because they contain protein and low fat. Unfortunately, many bars are actually fake foods, full of glucose-fructose syrup, artificial sweeteners, and low-quality vegetable oils, often hydrogenated. When you read the nutrition facts, you may find that the sugar content is similar or higher than that of a traditional snack, and the fats used may be saturated or even trans. The latter are the worst for the heart because they raise the level of bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower the good cholesterol, HDL. In the long term, frequent consumption of low-quality fit bars can promote chronic inflammation, weight gain, and heart disease. If you want a practical and healthy snack, better a fresh fruit, dried fruit, walnuts, almonds, or a natural yogurt. If you really want a bar, look for brands that use simple ingredients, such as oat flakes, real honey, dried fruit, and quality proteins, and without hydrogenated fats. 4. Light or lean cold cuts. Let's move on to a great classic. Light cold cuts, such as turkey breast in a bag, lean cooked ham, and so on. At first glance, they might seem like a salvation for those who want to maintain their figure. In reality, these industrial products often hide high levels of sodium, preservatives, nitrites and nitrates, and sometimes even added sugar to improve the flavor. Excess sodium translates into greater water retention, high blood pressure, and stress for the cardiovascular system. Even though the percentages of fat are lower than other cured meats, the cumulative effect of regular consumption of these imposter foods should not be underestimated. A sandwich a day with light turkey breast could, over time, provide a significant amount of salt. It is better to prefer fresh protein sources, such as chicken cooked by you, tuna in water, if canned, or fish. And, if you cannot give up cold cuts, choose products with fewer preservatives and nitrites, reading the label carefully. 5. 100% natural, industrial fruit juices. Do you feel virtuous when, instead of a carbonated soft drink, you take a 100% fruit juice in a carton? Yes, it is true that there are no artificial colorants, but often the fibers of the whole fruit are also missing. And above all, we find a high concentration of natural sugars that, without the barrier of the fibers, are quickly absorbed by the body. This causes glycemic peaks and a general stress on the metabolism. Some of these juices also claim to be no added sugar, but the absence of added sugar does not necessarily mean low total sugar content. In fact, the fructose present in fruit, when concentrated, can become a danger to the liver and insulin balance. In addition, in some cases there are sweeteners or natural flavors, often misleading, whose purpose is to make the product tastier than it would be by simply squeezing the fruit. Better then to drink water or prepare a smoothie or a fruit and vegetable extract at home. This way you can control the amount of fiber and any additions of ingredients. Sure, it is more tiring than opening a carton of juice, but it is worth it to avoid fake healthy foods and take care of your heart. 6. Fortified breakfast cereals. This is one of the most common cases. Breakfast cereals enriched, or fortified, with vitamins and minerals. The packages show reassuring images, colorful fruit and flowing milk, promoting the idea of a perfect breakfast to start the day in a healthy way. The reality, unfortunately, is often different. Many of these cereals contain a high amount of added sugars and fats, sometimes hydrogenated. The result is a product that, yes, gives you quick energy, but causes a spike in blood sugar, which in turn causes insulin spikes. In the long run, this morning habit can translate into extra pounds, insomnia, fatigue, and a slow but progressive threat to your heart. When you read the label, you may find that sugar often appears as the second or third ingredient, a clear sign of an imposter food. It's best to opt for whole oat flakes or other unsweetened cereals. If you need more flavor, add fresh fruit, nuts, or a teaspoon of honey. Just don't overdo it. This way, you get the right amount of energy, fiber, and micronutrients without the burden of refined sugars and questionable fats. 7. Sports drinks and energy drinks. After working out or jogging in the park, the temptation to drink a sports drink to recharge your batteries with minerals is strong. However, most sports drinks on the shelves contain significant amounts of sugar and other additives. The same goes for energy drinks, which add caffeine and other stimulants in often massive doses. These drinks aren't necessarily evil if consumed occasionally by those who really need them, e.g., elite athletes, but they can turn into imposter foods if they regularly end up in the diet of those who do moderate physical activity. Imagine doing a simple 30-40-minute workout and then ingesting a sugary drink. The risk is to cancel out some of the benefits of the exercise. In addition, caffeine and other stimulants can increase blood pressure and heart rate, putting a strain on the heart. The safest solution: drink water to rehydrate. If the workout was long or very intense, e.g., over an hour and a half, you could integrate with homemade drinks based on water, a pinch of whole salt and fresh fruit juice in small doses. But in any case, pay attention to the labels and do not fall into the trap of colors and promises of instant energy. 8. Baked snacks instead of fried snacks. How many times, to feel less guilty, do we buy chips, crackers, or other baked snacks? We think, they're not fried, so they're less harmful. Too bad that many of these products boast the label of light foods, but hide low-quality vegetable oils, excess salt, and additives. The end result is not very different from the fried equivalent, especially if the recipe calls for a lot of oil, even if baked, flavorings, and preservatives. Even the caloric difference between the fried and baked versions in some cases is negligible. Not to mention that some baked snacks are so tasty and inviting that they induce a consumption much more than a simple handful. It is all too easy to eat a whole bag absent-mindedly, in front of the TV or the PC. In doing so, you still accumulate many empty calories and too much sodium, a powerful enemy for the arteries. If you love to munch on something, you can aim for really healthy alternatives. Homemade popcorn with a little oil and spices, no chemical butter, baby carrots with hummus, dried fruit, walnuts, almonds, unsalted pistachios, or vegetable chips cooked in the oven at home, where you control the salt and seasoning. 9. Muesli bars with extra fruit. These bars seem like the height of health. They have cereal flakes, dried fruit, maybe some seeds, and on the label we often read, source of fiber, or with real fruit pieces. However, analyzing the composition, many of these bars are actually imposter foods. Dried fruit can be treated with glucose syrup, sugar, or even oils to maintain softness. not to mention any milk chocolate or yogurt coatings, which add sugar and saturated fat. The result? A product that, in terms of glycemic load, could be compared to a common snack. If consumed frequently, it can promote inflammation and energy swings during the day, with negative consequences for cardiometabolic health. Of course, not all muesli bars are like this. Some more virtuous companies offer genuine solutions, with selected ingredients and very little added sugar. It's up to you to distinguish the honest bars from the fake healthy ones. The best tool is always reading the list of ingredients. 10. Enriched or flavored canned fish. Fish, as we know, is a great ally of the heart, especially the blue one, rich in omega-3, noble proteins and low in saturated fats. However, when we buy canned fish with sauces or flavored, or enriched condiments, we often find ourselves with hyper-salty products full of preservatives and additives. Imagine a tuna with industrial chili oil or a mackerel with spicy sauce. Yes, maybe the taste will win you over, but the sodium content and possible low-quality fats could really be too much for your heart. It is important to remember that, in many cases, the oil used in cans is not quality extra virgin olive oil, but rather mixtures of cheaper oils, soybean, low-quality sunflower, or even partially hydrogenated oils. If consumed regularly, these foods can contribute to the increase in bad cholesterol and the appearance of plaque in the arteries. If you want to enjoy canned fish, the ideal solution is to choose the natural version in water or light brine, and then add a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and some spices yourself, controlling the amount of sodium and quality of fats. In this way, you preserve the benefits of fish without falling into the trap of imposter foods. Why are these 10 fake health foods dangerous for your heart? High glycemic index. Many of these products, even if disguised as light, rapidly raise blood sugar levels, stressing the pancreas and promoting the onset of type 2 diabetes. Presence of saturated and trans fats. These fats, if taken regularly, increase the levels of bad cholesterol, LDL, and decrease the good cholesterol, HDL, promoting the formation of plaque in the arteries and, consequently, heart attacks and strokes. Excess sodium. It's not just table salt that's bad for you. Many industrial products contain significant amounts of sodium, which contributes to high blood pressure and cardiovascular risk. Scent, additives and preservatives. Nitrites, nitrates, colorants, and stabilizers can irritate the body and promote chronic inflammation, which in turn facilitates the development of heart disease. Empty calories. Many of these foods provide energy without providing essential nutrients, fiber, vitamins, minerals, promoting the accumulation of visceral fat, which is particularly harmful to the heart. To fully understand the importance of recognizing imposter foods, I want to tell you the story of Lucia, an ordinary woman, very careful about what she ate. Lucia was not a big eater of junk food. On the contrary, she believed she followed a fairly balanced diet, trying to stay away from salt and bad fats. Lucia's routine. Adi. Breakfast. Fortified cereal with whole milk and a fruit juice carton labeled "No added sugar." Mid-morning snack. A couple of healthy-looking protein bars. Lunch. Often a sandwich with light cold cuts, lean cooked ham or turkey breast, plus a reduced fat cheese. Trader snack. Sometimes a packet of wholemeal crackers and a fruit yogurt. Satwar. Dinner. Sometimes vegetable soup, which in itself is excellent, but often he combined it with baked snacks to accompany the meal, or he opted for a ready-made hamburger to heat up in a pan. After dinner, a cube of milk chocolate or a fit snack is a must to feel less guilty. Lucia was truly convinced that by avoiding salt on the table and choosing light foods, she was protecting her heart. However, she noticed that, month after month, her waistline was increasing, and she often felt tired, with energy swings throughout the day. A checkup at the doctor revealed cholesterol and blood pressure levels above normal, not yet alarming, but enough to put her on guard. When she explained her diet to her doctor, she thought she was getting compliments. Instead, she heard, "Lucia, you're falling into the trap of fake healthy foods. Low-fat deli meats and low-fat cheeses often contain a lot of sodium and preservatives. The fortified cereals you eat for breakfast are full of added sugars. The no-added sugar juice is still high in concentrated fructose because it has no fiber. And the whole grain crackers you eat for a snack? They're mostly refined flours plus some bran, with lots of salt. The same goes for protein bars and fruit yogurt, which can hide sugars and saturated fats. And your ready-made hamburger is a real concentrate of saturated fats, sodium, and additives." Lucia, shocked, decided to start a small food revolution. She gradually eliminated all these imposter foods and replaced the fake healthy ones with more genuine alternatives. She got into the habit of reading labels, looking for real whole grain products, with whole grain flour in first place, drastically reducing everything that was prepackaged and enriched. She chose plain yogurt, adding fresh fruit to sweeten it. Instead of fit bars, she started eating dried fruit and a piece of fruit. And, if she wanted a bit of chocolate, she opted for dark chocolate with a high percentage of cocoa, while still limiting the quantity. The results were not long in coming. In a few weeks, Lucia noticed that she felt lighter and less subject to energy swings. In 2 or 3 months, her cholesterol levels dropped, and her blood pressure returned to normal. Finally, she discovered that her new diet was more varied and tasty than before. The absence of so many additives and hidden sugars brought out the authentic flavor of the foods. Lucia's lesson is clear. Don't be fooled by imposter foods. The words light, whole meal, percent fat, or no added sugar are not synonymous with true well-being. Often it's all a question of marketing. This is why it is essential to inform yourself. Read the labels and favor foods that are as natural as possible, with few ingredients and few industrial steps. Here we are at the end of this journey through the 10 most dangerous fake health foods for your heart. We discovered together that often the problem is not the salt itself, but the combination of sugars, saturated fats, additives, and hidden sodium present in these imposter foods. It's not about creating alarmism, but about becoming aware of how labels and advertising can deceive, making us more vulnerable to heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. What can you actually do starting today? 1. Always read the list of ingredients. If you see sugar at the top of the list, or if the ingredients are long and incomprehensible, it is better to avoid it. 2. Favor simple, fresh foods. Fruits, vegetables, quality proteins, real whole grains. 3. Watch out for sodium and additives. Reducing salt at the table is useful, but also limits industrial products rich in hidden salt. 4. Don't be fooled by the claims light, 0%, or no added sugar. Always check that these promises are nutritionally real. 5. Experiment in the kitchen. If you like sweet tastes, try spices like cinnamon or vanilla. If you are looking for a protein food, it is better to go for a fresh and controlled source rather than an industrial substitute. Finally, an invitation. Put into practice what you have learned today. Share this information with friends, family, and colleagues, because often people are not aware of how deceptive some foods that seem healthy can be. If you enjoyed this content, leave a nice like and subscribe to the channel or page, activating the notification bell to stay updated on many other tips for your health and well-being. Write "Healthy Heart" below to reiterate your commitment to protecting your heart and making more conscious food choices. Remember, your heart health is a precious asset, and every little effort you make today will translate into a great reward tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching this far, and see you next time with new videos dedicated to a healthier, happier, and more rewarding lifestyle.